This, of course, is the last game of the evening. After 2 games, we had Gentside, Royal Banditos, and Team Kinguin in that order come into our top 3. And a second Severny Circle saw Team Liquid claim their first scalp.
Yeah, definitely a pretty good start for them as well, even though they went out pretty early in the second game. They got, what, second? Game number 1? And so this is going to put Liquid in a very nice spot. House of Nobles also getting second place on last game is going to throw them up on the leaderboard. They're currently standing number 7 after game 2, so we'll see how the scores from game 3 are going to affect that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they made it all the way up to like 3rd or 4th because of that.
Sure.
Anyway, we have a nice even playing route to round us out today. We're given one little bit of a weird one. Of a unfortunate one. And again, everyone's jumping out really early. Even Riddle Esports, who went around the Milta area, are now immediately jumping out and could be potentially contesting against another team in North George.
Very early on indeed, especially for I want to say HAVU kind of went Primorsk already once, so if they get an opportunity, they're not afraid to go ahead and move on there. And wouldn't be surprised to see alternate aTTaX again attempt to go either Novo or military base. It looks like from what I can see so far it's Novo, but I could be wrong there. There's plenty of time for them to change that.
Yeah, and going to Novo.
Well, there we go. And Liquid helping up to Yasnaya. So this 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock playing path seems to be giving most of the teams what they want. We see No Loot Gaming once again getting Pachinki to themselves, so feeling relatively happy about that. And yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on with the guys getting number 2 in that last game. We were so focused on how badly Team Liquid was shutting them down and preventing counterplay. Bear in mind, 2nd place with kills is still pretty good.
Yeah, and it's actually back from Zarky. I realized I mentioned House of Nobles. For some reason, I'm really bad at confusing all these team names right now.
I mean, and they're in a different team slot every week as well. I mean, it's... And you have different teams, of course, in the lobbies. They are all over the place, and they're all also so good. It's very... And this is before we talk about roster swaps as well, right? I mean...
Yeah. Well, both those teams, House of Nobles and Zarky, doing good job this full 3-game set. So, again, we're going to see what the scores are still being calculated. I don't think they're up just yet, even for us. Maybe up for you by this point with the 8-minute delay that we're currently working on. But right now, no early fights. Even aTTaX and Royal Banditos going into Sosnovka Island are not coming into contact with each other. aTTaX grabbing vehicles immediately going over to the military base. Royal Banditos staying on Novo. And so no one's really going to be coming into contact with each other. No fights over vehicles just yet either. And so I'm expecting to see another quiet early game.
This, well, the mid game is going to get very interesting indeed with this Western Circle. I want to see which of the teams in Milta blink first. Whether we're going to see, I don't know, House of Nobles try and get in vehicles and leave before Gentside get the opportunity to, for example, because last team into Novo is not only going to be a rotten egg, but they are going to get bullets to the face. So that's going to be the name of the game here. Teams also to watch out for are once again Royal Banditos and alternate aTTaX, who love that Sosnovska Island. To be fair, they broadly got it to themselves. Team Liquid to an extent, depending on how late they want to leave Yasnaya as well. But otherwise, North George is probably the first place I would look at if it came to where I would pick the fights to happen.
Where would you, in the circle like this, because the river and the mountain as well, and the city, like that's 3 things dead center of the circle that can make things kind of tricky, as well as, you know, the fact that there's water in this first circle. Where would you go? Would you prefer the north side of the circle, the north side of the river? Or would you play more the south side and play more around Gatka?
So I would tend to play one of 2 things. If I wasn't sure whether the circle was going to go north or south and the team had vehicles available, I've seen a lot of teams have success effectively being the gatekeepers of the bridges sort of just to the east of Georgia Pole, where you get like that Harry Potter and the small compound there, right where Dignitas are now. Also, if you think that there's only a 20 or 30% chance that the circle is going to go up north and you want to hog south, then yes, I would absolutely go Gatka compounds. I wouldn't really want to put myself into the buildings in North or South Georgia Pole unless I was fairly convinced we're going to be going into urban warfare. Because like you said earlier on, you're either going to look like a genius or you're going to look like a fool. And those odds don't look good if it's something like 15%, right?
Uh-oh, this compound,
Oh dear.
I was going to pick this one as the compound that I would go to, and I'm not the only one because we have 2 teams, 2 solos trying to fight for it. Spike right now from Dignitas trying to hold off Freak.
And here, you know, it took me 3 casts. It took me 3 casts before I worked out his nickname was Tomato. Oh, wow. Headshot to start things off. He's very, very low. So he's going to have to duck behind the shed and heal up. If he wasn't sure someone was there before, he certainly is now. He has only seen evidence of one person, but of course, if you're solo moving up into a compound in a squads game, you have to be very worried. And look at this, Kisa immediately jetting over on a vehicle to provide some sort of backup. Spike, though, he's going to try and finish this one early.
I love this. He runs around the side, but misses the shots. Couldn't see through the tree, and he hears the backup vehicle arrive, and so he is trying to get out of there. Don't know if he's going to try and defend this spot from the compound and wait for his own backup to arrive, or maybe try and leave, but the way that his vehicle is parked is going to make it difficult to leave when he gets a drop on a Kisa anyway. It doesn't matter from the roof on the M16.
Wow, that was, I mean, Spike is being incredibly aggressive and very, very mobile with his movements here as well, doing a very good job. Is he going to try and stop the res going off? He is indeed, and he manages to do it. 1v2, Dignitas, Spike. He will be able to take this compound. So now we can go back to the question. It looks like we've both chosen the same compound as a really nice place to sit. I personally like it because of the high ground and the broken wall. But what do you think? Why do you like that compound when you're playing here?
It's as far as bridges, like, because you are camping a bridge, taking control of a bridge, this compound gives you the best control over the bridge that you're trying to control. And so it basically just cuts this entire bridge out of the equation. That means that if it swings north side of the river, you can stay here and keep people coming into your side. If it swings south, though, you have a bridge that you are controlling that you can then cross safely in your own terms.
Oh,
and it's also relatively central as well.
Phalix must
do it. Don't do it.
Well, we're going to get to see firsthand, I suspect, the bridge control that may or may not be offered here. At least Phalix isn't stopping to try and get into the compound itself. And he couldn't even run into the river.
Oh no, now he's getting shot from the south as well. No, Phalix, run. Okay, he's in the water for now, so he's safe.
And that's why it's dangerous. Oh, Xiphon, though, maybe attracted by the shots. He attracts a little bit of attention. I think, by the way, that was from Team Kinguin, who are relatively close by. Yes, there we go.
And I like this, that Dignitas are doing. They're not just taking the compound on the north side. They're taking Xiphon. They have him take this tower just on the south as well. So they have total control of this area. It's very nice. So they do have to worry about not overextending. Xiphon, I think, is by himself. So if he did get fully dropped by Gaxi or whoever else is from Kinguin in that position onto him, it could have been dangerous. But as long as he's staying safe and he just plays as a support to his teammates in the north, they could do a really good job now. Now, again, this is just the first circle. We'll see what happens once the second and third circle hit. But at least for now, it's a nice spot. Oh, no, he's peeking out, though. Vard saw a quick glimpse of him and is dropping down, trying to find a second angle onto it.
It's because you have a second team potentially crossing the bridge here. And that is Riddle Esports. I think they're going to hang around in the compound for a while. You got to feel sorry for Phalix right now, but there's really nothing else he can do, right? He just has to sit tight until an opportunity where he feels everyone else has gone away. There is no way he's going to take anything against anyone right now.
Yeah, same with Tomshi. Both these players in the water. Reese going aggressive and trying to find this, and that buggy, I'd stay away from it. Actually, I don't like how when vehicles start to move around like that in this game. But Liquid's also running across the bridge, and they're not content just staying safe. They want to really push for aggression. Vard looks like he took a little bit of damage, and so Liquid's potentially... No, Liquid has his eyes set on Phalix. He actually could open up his back to get shot by Kinguin if they're not too safe about it, but it looks like no angle is available because he is just down the defilade. They want this kill on a Phalix.
Yeah, I don't know what you think about this, but I don't know. I'm trying to work, like, from a risk reward point of view. They know he's one guy, right? So is it really worth surrounding and trying to really finish off the kill just for the sake of not having him there? I feel like it might attract more unwanted attention. They get it, though.
Yeah, because the way that the sides of the cliff go down into the river, it makes it an isolated incident where they're not taking care. Like, Kinguin doesn't have that many shots onto them while they do it. And so, yes, early game, I think it is valuable to do so. If this was the second or third circle, I would say no, because that means that you have more chance of other teams coming into your position. That being said, we have some rotations now from Zarky trying to make their way through 2 separate teams. Not too much damage being thrown in onto them, but it's still keeping them away. And oh no, Zenta. No, wait, that's full health. It was just flashing red for a quick second. The car has taken a bit of damage. That's the worry.
And he's also got not quite the wheel knocked out on the front right there, but getting very dangerously close to that at the moment. He will safely make it to... Oh no, it is knocked out. It's straight. It didn't have an X on it. Okay, there we go.
Changed it. It's not an X anymore. That wasn't the reason.
So when I play racing games, I'm used to red, meaning the tire tread is worn out and you need to go to the pits, but it's not out yet. I'm used to green, yellow, red, so that threw me off just a little bit there. But you're absolutely right.
It's new.
Gatka compounds, by the way, our second choice of what compounds we wanted to go to, all completely occupied. There is no vacancy for rooms this evening.
The thing is, though, about the Gatka buildings, the compounds, is that if it swings north, they have no information on what's going on the north end because the mountain blocks all that much vision. So it's a little bit of a risk. I mean, no circle has the perfect compound in it that you can see everywhere else around you. We do have a little bit of a fight, though.
I was going to say maybe Stauber or that hill next to Mill Base at an extreme push. Like 1 in 1,000 games.
Oh, the satellite tower?
Yeah,
Radio
just
tower?
like the extreme sort of hill going up there. But when's the last time you saw a circle end up there?
Oh, look at this! Dignitas are pushing on the Kinguin.
Oh my.
Just north of the mountain. They want to push on their position. They want this building more than their previous one. They got a drop on Navard, dove straight in onto this position, killed Gaxi too, and now Dignitas. They stole Kinguin's spot. They stole 2 of their players away as well. So
that
now
is
Kinguin just down to 2.
Big for Kinguin as well, who, to be fair, have been scoring well all day today and do not want to spoil that with an early exit in game number 4. That would be difficult for them at best. They were in 3rd place after game 2. With 13 kills, which still tallying up game number 3, but they're in a good position as well. aTTaX, in the meantime, in Gatka, have one of their number down, and they are struggling to move between compounds as well. A lot of teams now centered in on that sort of location while we wait for the next circle. It's going to reveal itself in just a few seconds.
Directly onto Georgia Pole, and this is a little bit of a struggle.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a worry if we're going to end on this city once again, because we saw how chaotic that can be if we're not in there first. HAVU, though, taking priority, going directly in South George. Don't know if they're going to be going directly into containers or just take those few buildings. Yeah, and so he's actually stopped beforehand. Some nice buildings to hold in this position, but Liquid also coming across the long bridge. It's a member of Kinguin on the south side, but it's just one lone member, so it's not going to be too much of a worry for them. And yeah, the rest of HAVU are actually going directly into the warehouse, and actually Liquid, they're backing away. Don't know what James spotted out. He may have heard Miraku moving around, and so Liquid, they're actually backing away and going to stay on North George instead.
Well,
are they? Or are they then coming back across?
The mind games with the casters are real at this point. I was trying to work out what he saw. Maybe they were just going back to consolidate or trade some loot before actually coming into this sort of place. Oh. Can I just say, boys and girls, in real life, you will suffer a little bit more damage than that. Do not try this at home.
You'd be dead. He would have broken his neck on that wall.
You'd be gone.
Absolutely gone. No Loot Gaming trying to come down to HAVU. HAVU with a good defense. Couple of drops going into their way already. But see if No Loot, we got more members coming in from the south. They're going to try and trade it out.
And Silencio moving upstairs, looking for a better vantage point, knowing that this is extremely dangerous right now. Artia looking for an opportunity around Janssen now. Can't really see a reason not to go ahead with the revive, so he's going to do that now. HAVU are all to one side of them, except for Ensolento, who is very much cooped up here. And if he jumps out the window, we have Outsider waiting to take him out.
Outsider's got a nade in hand. No angles available for HAVU. You can see him shoot through the smoke and hits a couple of shots, I believe, through the smoke, but not too much to keep No Loot Gaming at bay. They know it's a 4v1 in the building. There are a couple of vehicles coming onto the position. Don't know if this team is back up or not. And Slenso, a little bit of fight, does drop one, but can't get more than that. And now HAVU's going to be down to 3. No Loot Gaming stealing this position away. A little ambitious of a split from them. But I don't really mind if Kimano is still safe, holed up in the warehouse.
Yeah, getting the res off there. Unfortunately, the down was kind of necessary, but No Loot Gaming will still be 4 people. Kinguin, in the meantime, struggling to maintain their own position right now. They're down to 2, as you will recall. Larson looking to get into a safe place so that he can get a revive. And it looks like James managed to get one better on him as well.
Waiting for the moment for Miraku to cross and get the revive onto Larson. Larson's actually trying to crawl back to him, but James found the angle. Did he not? Larson just barely gets behind that corner of the wall, is bleeding out, but Liquider on the push.
Moving in now, Miraku having to rush to try and revive as quickly as possible. You do not want to... Oh my god, that frag grenade! James absolutely says no to that. Larson goes down and Miraku is all on his own. That was fantastic from very far away while running as well. Very difficult to judge.
Like, we know there's just one member of Kinguin left. Miraku trying to hide in a corner, but Ibiza up front trying to listen for something or other. More nades come through, expecting Miraku to be in that building. Miraku, having gone over to the blue building just to the southeast of it, could throw a wrench in their plans.
Moving into the building now. They want to take this cleanly. They do not want to have to suffer any additional losses. And ideally, they want to save their nades for later as well, because this circle could end up being proper urban warfare. We don't know if those buildings are going to end up being the final place for the circle to rest. Miraku not in here. Liquid going to confirm that right now. He is still basically next door. And they will consolidate and sniff around for clues before moving out further.
Liquid, do they want to push farther out towards the road? I don't exactly know if they had eyes spotted on Miraku. They could have just been trying to clear that building in case there was another member of Kinguin left, but it's possible they don't know that he's in the immediate vicinity. So it's a question of, are they able to triangulate his position? Seems to be the case. They're getting closer and closer onto him. But they don't want to go too far out. Same thing on the corner. Does get the spot. Does get the drop as well. Down very low.
Now that's big.
Wipe onto Kinguin, and Kinguin are out first. Yeah, that's huge.
Absolutely massive. Third place after the first two games. Good placings all day long, and now out in last place. Kinguin are going to be reeling from that. Teams rushing into the circle now. There are still buildings here. The majority of Georgiapol crates, of all places, are going to be in this circle, which makes things very interesting indeed. Alternate attacks being very brave, running straight through the middle of several teams here, albeit at long distance. So many people are going to get a hit off, and Frost is very close to going down. Linkson will be the first.
Got a couple of teams up on the hilltop, and it's actually House of Nobles. We're trying to defend that outside of there, going out some really long shots on his own. Can't quite find any true connections just yet. But this is a very interesting circle to play around because you got the river, you got the containers, and you have the mountain that are all still in play. And so it makes rotations and it makes everything just quite weird.
Still holding strong. I mean, Dignitas in this position, they could actually sit back, not shoot, only gather information, and be fairly comfortable for the next couple of minutes as well. They have picked their compound well, and there is no reason for them to move just yet.
They got eyes on their Ronin as well, trying to keep them contained. Ronin inside the circle, though, don't have to push up just yet. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually wanted to move south and then take the northeast edge of the mountain. But actually, they're trying to take this fight. Land a couple of shots on the liquids. He's going to try and hide and heal up.
He's going for it.
Not too much of a commitment here from Ronin right now, though, because, again, they're in the circle. They're actually quite isolated at this point. No one is immediately around them, and so they don't have to worry too much about this. And depending on the amount of meds as well as ammunition that they have, they could decide to not even really take the fight or not.
Yeah, they're in a position where they have the luxury of choice. It's nice to be in a place where you can choose whether or not you want to engage. The top of the mountain, always in circles involving the mountain, we ask ourselves, right, who's going up Everest and who's trying to defend? Well, House of Nobles have taken up that honor in this particular game. Gentside are on the bottom looking on, but I don't believe they have the strength in numbers here. And off in the distance, we have Royal Banditos still on the ground, having a peek, wondering if there's going to be an opportunity for a flank as well. Because if they don't go over the top of the mountain, there are a lot of teams on the ground that they're going to have to go around if this circle ends up being north of it, which I think it will be.
The circle's moving in right now, and I think everyone's been able to find a spot for themselves. So outside of actually House of Nobles being the main key here, throwing out shots on anyone like a 360 circle around them, I think it's going to be quite quiet for now. until the circle finishes moving in, which it's over halfway done, so it shouldn't be too much longer before the next circle reveals itself, and we really get to see how this game unfolds. Because the thing about this mountain is it makes transitions into the circle very difficult, so
really
I
tough.
imagine that Royal Banditos, if it goes anywhere aside from the mountain, are going to have a tough transition.
Yeah, what on earth are you going to do if you are SunTouch and Co. right now? I mean,
Go up towards Ronan. Like, that's it.
That's all. That really is all you can do, isn't it? And it's not ideal. So hopefully some part of the mountain is in the next circle for them, and they should be good to go. If this ends up falling on crates, it's no, they could stay up there for a little while. But
Dignitas.
man,
Dignitas won the lottery on this game. This is such an impactful circle as well because, I mean, a compound in this circle because there is no cover surrounding them. The tighter it gets onto that compound, they're just going to spray everyone down, and it's a potential high kill count build game for them. Rotation's coming through. It's actually a couple of drops. HAVU Gaming ran over their own teammates, so that's a little unfortunate. That's going to be an easy revive, though, with 3T Buds coming in directly onto HAVU. HAVU moving away, though, trying to get more central into the circle. Don't want to play the heavy edge. But now Liquid, they also have to move through No Loot Game, and that's only on the west coast. On the east side, it's actually pretty okay. We do have Royal Banditos making the rotation up towards Ronan, but they could be potentially caught between Ronan and House of Nobles.
yeah, and that's the big problem they find themselves in right now because House of Nobles have spotted them from on top of the mountain and they're taking shots. And it's so frustrating because they know that A team is up there as well. And yes, Ronan picked their first shots wisely, instantly taking it down onto Cloudtail. And that's 2 downs and counting. This is not a good position right now if you are Royal Banditos. But where else can you go? Going out of the circle and coming back in? There's no really good route round the river. They can't do that. They have to stay here and try and go through one of these squads or hope that they rotate out of the way.
Well, luckily for them, Dignitas actually threw some shots there onto Ronan, so it does keep Ronan at bay marginally. Ronan don't have full freedom to just commit onto this fight against Royal Banditos. So they found a cubby for themselves. They can hang out here in the corner and then just wait for the next circle to build up and figure out which team they have to fight through.
Team Liquid rushing through with vehicles. They were, by the way, on the far west of the circle, so really difficult if they were to come in on foot. They would have to go through a lot of teams, so they are taking the risk! And you always look both ways before crossing the road, unfortunately, and Sam T falls victim to that. That was not part of the textbook. Oh, we actually saw him get up. We could see it coming in slow motion. It's like one of those moments where you know, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Was that one Enya song? I think I was playing in my head at that moment. a lot of sights onto Liquid at this point. Their vehicles are taking heavy damage. They need to run away from those so they don't blow up right into their face. Scoon actually caught out alone. Does find a small little path up the mountain. Could potentially find an angle onto Gentside. But he wants to worry about that. Here's the suppressed shots from that direction. And actually, no, just meeting up the rest of his teammates so they can stay as a group of 3. But it's getting a little tight here at the bottom because you also have House of Nobles going back in towards Gentside. Actually, House of Nobles are already quite close to Gentside there at the south.
Very close, yes. They're about to let things get very spicy indeed. And Royal Banditos have the option of going in, but they're going to be moving away for now. iTwisterr! 2 people from Gentside going down there. Botsman gets taken down as well. Team Liquid are storming the mountain.
I don't know about storming more, just trying to defend, find a little foothold for themselves. But Ibiza finds 1 drop, almost gets a second, and just barely enough time to get behind cover. Those have more nades in return to keep House of Nobles from pushing in onto their position. Sunbird, though, may be able to get a revive onto Botsman, so they're going to stay 4 strong. Gentside, only 1 remaining onto Vic. Only player able to retreat from the mountain. The rest of his teammates have been taken out. But here comes Ibiza and the rest of Liquid pushing up, but they could run into a crossfire. But nope, doesn't matter. Jinx has the angle and gets the drop onto Royal Banditos, but he's taking a lot of shots in return. It's actually Dignitas firing in, but can't get the full-on drop, and Jinx finds the cubby to hide behind.
Oh, I was holding my breath as he was running down there, just about managing to get into that little dip. He will be able to survive for a while longer and heal himself up. So that's going to interrupt the potential fight that we had between Team Liquid and Royal Banditos, who have got 1 down still, remember. But iTwisterr is kind of all alone facing the remaining 2 members of the squad without Scoom and Jeems to back him up right now.
He's coming in from the side, but he gets spotted out. Has to hide behind cover. Suntouch is bleeding out though, so I don't know if that revive is gonna be able to come in through from Mono Bandito. There's only 2 of them remaining.
No, that's it. They're not going back for him. I mean, trying to get back up the mountain.
Ambitious rotation by Ronin does get punished by Liquid and Dignitas as well. Kraken finds a tiny little safe spot. If he's not spotted out by a beats on top of the mountain. Look at this. Dignitas, they're not center anymore. They can only play Gatekeeper on one edge at this point. But the Blues about to start moving in. Symphonize coming in from across the bridge. Riddle Esports, last remaining player, trying to find something, bombing to the very dead center. Trying to go across, hoping this compound is empty, but it is not. He's not dead just yet, though, but he pops out right before he falls.
Unfortunate for Symphonize there. He did what he could, but at the end of the day, the circle is small. He's rushing in a vehicle, and like Team Liquid when they came on in, it attracts an awful lot of attention. So he's going to go down there. Ibiza manages to escape that fight that we were having with Royal Banditos, because Royal Banditos are actually going to be rotating further south, or maybe they are just tactically trying to avoid Team Liquid, but they could run right back into House of Nobles. We're playing a game of tag here, where these 3 teams are just constantly in and out of combat with each other, and coming down the mountain. If they get spotted early, this is going to be really frustrating with the Blue moving in.
Botsman actually falls down the mountain and takes himself out, but Angle spotted from, actually, I believe it's Vic way off in the distance. Onto Royal Banditos.
Oh, no!
P-Day! Oh, no! Oh! He is thanking his lucky stars, because that is literally 1 HP. He
Can I just say,
broke his kneecaps on that, yeah?
That never happens to me. If I fall, like, that's insta-death. I have never...
Yeah.
That never happens to me.
You either take 5 HP or you're dead. There's no in between.
Exactly. I can't believe... That is the first time I have ever seen something like that happen. I am never lucky. I clearly don't play enough. You know exactly where to fall. He micromanaged his fall midair, going, if I just fall there, I can minimize this mistake.
You got a pixel gap of space that I won't die if I hit it. Tomshi now goes down. And so that is... action is coming, I believe. He just not taken out. And out in the open. There is virtually no cover in this circle. Dignitas had such a strong spot, but it's not in their circle anymore. And they don't have a lot of cover to utilize outside of that compound before they get to that tree cover. So they are going to have to fight for this circle. They need to take shots now on both edges, their north and their south, onto Liquid.
One thing I would say, if Dignitas choose to play this slowly, they are at least on the side of the circle that's going to come in more slowly. So they could play in the knowledge that everyone who is west of the circle right now will have to be running in at 1,000,000 miles an hour faster than them. Unfortunately for them, it doesn't protect them against Ronin.
The question is, though, are they aware that those 2 players of Ronin are at their north? Everyone's being quiet right now. No one wants to be the first one to move into the center of the circle because, as mentioned, there is still virtually no cover. Playing this circle is incredibly difficult. But these 2 players from Ronin, this is a really tricky situation for them. They need to wait for Dignitas to leave before they can sneak in behind them. But Dignitas don't seem to be too adamant to do so. They
have to leave, but they don't have to leave straight away. So the 2 Ronin players on the far side, maybe they could get the Ronin players on the south to create a diversion by shooting at them. But no, the patience will pay off. Dignitas are starting to leave, and look at this, the Ronin players rushing in as soon as they vacate.
It's going to be difficult for them to still make it to the circle, though. Their journey is not over just yet, but Scoom trying to fire down to Dignitas, using those vehicles as cover, pressed up against the car. But it's a fight elsewhere, because Royal Banditos are coming in onto their position. Ibiza gets taken down, but a potential trade, actually, from elsewhere. Jeems trying to peek over the side of that mountain, over the ridge, but option down very low, trying to first aid up. Is gonna hit it, or then go and re-enter the fight. Does spot out Jeems and gets the headshot, knocked down to 20 HP in return. Scoom here trying to trade.
Very nice stuff there. And that was through the grass as well, so really well spotted. Ronin aren't, by the way, now all in the circle. Nades coming out, trying to finish off the job. It looks like they're going to be pushing into Liquid to an extent. Looking for Jeems, finds him. Scoom is there as well. They must have someone that's there. OPG spots him, gets him behind the tree. And is that... Gentside, by the way, while we were talking about that, are out, and I believe that's in 9th place. Are Liquid now out too?
Yeah, I think Liquid are out in 6th at this point.
Wow.
But, wait, what happened to Dignitas? Ronin happened to Dignitas. That's exactly what happened. Ronin came up from behind. They weren't expecting. And then having the crossfire of Kraken, who was already in the circle at another angle, was more than enough, I'm guessing, to take out Dignitas, who were still 4 strong. We thought that Ronin, they were in a really tricky spot, but they steal this position away from Dignitas, and now they're in prime position to take over the rest of the game. Of course, they're going to have to move once again.
Do you think Dignitas maybe didn't see Duck
they must not have
come up from behind them, and they realized that they were in the middle of a sandwich?
Didn't.
They must have.
Absolutely, they must not have. That must be the only way for them to for that to happen is Ronin get real close and assassinate them. Kraken does get taken out by P-Day. A very nice kill though, it makes Ronin just under 2, but they have priority position in the circle at this point. And there's not a single team of 4 left. There are 2 duos and then 2 solos.
4 teams left to go, 6 alive. This is the final game of today's Auzom Premier League. And, well, the winners from previous games look to be out of it so far. We're on board with P-Day, who possibly has the longest to go, and they might be running straight into House of Nobles before the circle even moves in. 20 seconds left to go, and over the crest of this next hill is Flix. OPG and P-Day are going to be meeting in what I presume to be the hard way, because there is no way their footsteps haven't been heard.
See if Flix can't. How much damage he can do, though. Oh, she does spot him. Just barely. I think spots his backpack in the grass. A very nice eye on him. And now also aTTaX is suspected behind the rock. Opchi, though, turns his attention away. Onto Ronin. Takes a lot of shots.
Wow.
Does get dropped. Can't hit his own. And that's just Peter to try and trade back.
Beautiful shots from them, and it actually detracted their attention from spotting aTTaX, although unfortunately snaking it through the open, he had to risk it to try and get into a better position, but the other team were right on top of him. So P-Day and co are out with Ronin for the victory in this game. 2 teams, 4 alive. It's 2v2.
I don't know if P-Day's going to try and go for the res either because the blue is coming in onto the position. Actually, the smoke just gives the position away, and he's not so much spotted, but guessed through the bush. And final shot.
No!
All that's needed. Ronin triangulated onto his position and then just opened fire. And Ronin take game number 4, not even giving Royal Banditos a chance in this.
Absolute hail barrage of bullets into the smokes. Give Ronin the victory there. They are going to win game number 4 this evening with 10 kills to their name. Very well played to them. And Royal Banditos taking a victory. This is the 2nd place. So that is going to go very well for them indeed on the leaderboard. And in fact, with Kinguin going out first, there's a real possibility that they could end up in 1st overall across these 4 games today.
So the update came through. It does take a while still to tell. Yeah, from game 3. And actually Royal Banditos were in 2nd place still. Liquid in 1st, and so this 1st place finish is going to throw Royal Banditos up to the top spot of today's series. So definitely congratulations for Royal Banditos. Did a very good job over the course of all 4 games. I believe their worst position was after game 1 in 8th position. And they made it only even better from there, getting a 1st, a 3rd, and then a 2nd 1st to round it all out. So good job for
Gaming as well.
For winning today, winning Lobby Red.